Hey y'all, today I'm finally back with a new 57 panel project. As you can see, the wheels probably look a lot different than they did when I first got it. That's because we went from a 15-inch to a 17-inch wheel. I found some 17-inch steel wheels from a Dodge 1500. Finally, it took forever, but I did find 5 good ones, and today I'm going to take you through the steps of how I found them and what I did to get them where we're at today. Hey y'all, I'm at the junkyard today looking for Dodge 1500 trucks. There's one. Hopefully to get a set of wheels. Now, that is not the set I'm looking for. That's a Ford wheel. Oh, there's one. Let's see. This is a 16-inch version, which means it's an older one. I'm looking for the 17-inch version of this wheel. Looking for 4 of them. I mean, you could use these if you're good with 16s. It's got the right bolt pattern, the 5.5 inch. Center hole is going to be too small for my application, 3 inches, but you could get 3.5 out of it with a die grinder pretty easily without destroying the wheel. I only see one though, so that was probably a spare. I'll keep looking. Alright, so we're just on around the corner here. An old Ford. Oh, what is that? Oh, that looks like a Dodge wheel. Is that the Mecca, the 20? It sure is. It's got a 275/60 R20 on it. Got the 5.5 inch bolt pattern on it. Well, that is it. Boy, if I was patient. That's what you want. Is 4 of those. I don't think I'm that person though. And I don't think I want to buy just that one to go do a test fitment because I'm pretty cheap. These are 17s. Looks like there's a 245/70 on there right now. And this is exactly what I was looking for, which is great. Came off of a 2000 and I believe it was 5 Dodge truck. I had to buy the whole frame in order to get them, but that's okay. I'm gonna grab the wheels and then probably try to sell a few parts off of it. I see rear axle is probably going to get put on Facebook. Gas tank. I don't know if there's any components up here that'd be worth anything or not. All right, let me show you what we got. I have a piece of flat plate. I don't know if you can see it. I don't have very good light here. This basically bolted to the back of this wheel. I drilled 2 holes in it. Got one sticking through one of the lug holes, and the other is just a 6th hole that was a smaller hole that was drilled in the wheel. So I went ahead and used that. And then what I did was basically drew my circle and found what I hope is the center. And we're going to take a 3.5 inch carbide tip hole saw Came from Harbor Freight. And we're gonna try our best to use this hole that I just drilled and see if we can open this center up. This thing here is a Hercules 3.5 inch bimetal hole saw. Says it has cobalt teeth. So maybe that'll last a little bit longer. I'm definitely hoping it'll last through cutting 5 of these wheels open. I had an arbor already that was in a hole saw set. Luckily it's a standard thread, so we'll just thread that up on there like so. It says to run this thing on mild steel at 9,500, or excuse me, let me back up. Mild steel, 95 RPM. So pretty slow. I don't have anything that's going to be able to measure that, but we will go at it as slow as this 1/2 inch drill will allow. I had to take this bit. Ooh, it's way out there now. That's okay. So we'll get this pilot drilled, and then hopefully we'll see that it's centered in that. Once we're just going to nick it with this hole saw and see if how good a job we did getting it centered, and then we'll go from there. Okay, I've got a 1/2 inch drill here. It's set down to the lowest RPM I can get it. We're gonna probably even feather the trigger a little bit more than what it'll allow. That feels like a little bit more than 95 RPM. At any rate, got our pilot hole. We'll get in there, make sure, yep, we're in it. And then we're gonna get it drilled. And then hopefully get our bigger hole drilled. So here we go. All right, pilot hole is drilled. Okay, so now we're gonna nick, like I said, we're gonna nick this thing all the way around, basically knock the paint off of it and see if it looks like that we're taking the same amount off of all the sides before we get crazy with it. And that way, if we're not, then I'll back up. We'll regroup with this piece of steel that I got here. So that looks pretty even from what I can see. We don't have total, it's not on this side yet, but from here all the way around, that looks pretty centered to me in terms of how much we're taking off. So I think we're going to be okay. Let's just take it easy here and see what we can get accomplished. Resembles a centered hole. Yep. Honestly, I don't think I could get any better than that. That's about as good as it gets. Just put a little bit more cutting fluid in here. Just keep going slow at it until it breaks through. Goodness gracious. That's what we say in the electronic world. The magic smoke is leaving the building. Once it's all gone, never comes back. I'm gonna keep at it because I really want to see this hole drilled. Well, there went the magic smoke. That's the last of it. Jeez. All right, let's see if I can finish this up without burning up another drill. The key with that is when I was using the variable speed on the other drill, when you're going at such low RPM, it's very easy to hang the bit up. And when you do that, you're basically clicking seconds off of the motor, and you're bound to burn it up like I did if you keep at it. So just try to keep that hole saw moving, and as long as that's the case, then the drill motor should be fine. It's a happy fine balance between not revving the hole saw too fast and dulling it to the point where it won't cut, and of course keeping it just fast enough to where it's not going to hang and burn up the motor. All right, so here goes. See what we can do here. There it is. How about that? So that's what we're shooting for. If you have the same amount of material, plus or minus a little bit on each side, then that pretty much guarantees that you're in the center of the hole. It looks like it bent a little bit when it come out, but we're really close. All right, so right here we're about 135 thousandths, and over here we are a little over 100 thousandths. So we're 30 thousandths off center. 110 here. 30 thousandths with a hole saw is not that much. So as long as our hole is just oversized enough to accommodate it being just that hair off center, then everything's going to be just fine. So here we go. We're going to clean this up, and then I'll figure out. I think a Dremel is a little too light for this work, but I also don't want to get a die grinder on it, because you do that and it's going to easily eat into this hole and make it oblong. So basically we're just looking for something with sandpaper, and we need like a drum, and I actually have some. Now that I think about it, as long as I have an arbor to put it on, and we'll just use that sanding drum to smooth it out and deburr the edges. I have got a can of Rust-Oleum Semi-Gloss White. Got a brush. I have brushed these puppies to the best of our abilities. I gotta get the tire off of this one. I'll get that done tomorrow. But I think they've turned out pretty good. I could have sprayed these things, but it's not the look I was going for. I purposely wanted them to look like I had used a paintbrush, because this is an old truck. It just makes sense. To me anyway. All right, should have the wheels or tires on the wheels tomorrow. Got tires are in, so we're going to have those installed, and then I'm going to get them on the truck, and we will hopefully drive this thing tomorrow. Looking forward to that. One of the nice things about running the larger wheels is we will not need the spacer that was installed after the front disc brake conversion, which was required to run the original wheels, and that's because this caliper here would rub the inside of a 15-inch original wheel. So the way you got around that is to put this 1-inch spacer on here, but we will not need that now, so we'll be taking that off, and the 17-inch Dodge wheel will mate right up to the surface of that rusty old rotor. All right, let's take a closer look at what we ended up with. This center here was originally 3 inches on the old wheels. The original wheels, they were 3.5. So basically we had to open these up. Here's a look at the rear. That 3.5-inch hole was obviously for the rear. I've seen people that weren't going to rotate their tires for whatever reason, run some kind of staggered wheels, and they only opened up 2 of the 4. So my guess is that they were doing the rears, because I believe we could have gotten by with the original 3-inch hole on the front or thereabouts. But at any rate, I plan on rotating these and wanted them all the same. So I opened these up, and they clear pretty nicely. Well, here's what's left of the frame. As you can see, the rear end is gone. The gas tank is gone. Gas tank was some sort of weird animal. Guy explained to me after he come to get it that there was a year, I think it was 2004 2005, where the gas tanks changed, and one of them had 2 inlets and the other had 3, and the one, of course, that I had was the hard to find model, which I did not know that, but glad I could help somebody out. So I got $125 for the rear end. Somebody had messed with the brakes, even though it was a disc brake rear end. The calipers were hanging off. I wasn't sure, since I had never seen that set up, what was going on there. So I sold it for what I thought was a fair deal. Gas tank, $50, so $175 for those 2 things. I'm thinking about taking the spindles, calipers, everything off up front, the A-arms, in case somebody, wreck, whatever, needs to rebuild their front end. I doubt the calipers is any good, but they might be okay for a trade-in, that sort of thing, for reconditioning. And then it does have this big bumper on the back. It does not have any slot for a class 3 hitch, but that thing is very beefy. As you can see, frame mounted, very big tube. So somebody could probably weld a piece of square tubing on that thing, make it a class 3 hitch, but I mean, short of that, just switch out the ball, and you essentially got a heavy duty deal, just like you would if you had any other aftermarket frame mounted hitch. So I think I will sell it as well, and then the rest of it will go to scrap. My guess is it's probably, with that box frame, it's probably at least $50 worth of metal, maybe more. I have no idea what metal prices bring in terms of poundage, that sort of thing, but I'm just thinking out loud, it would probably be worth at least that. All right, so that's how I got my wheels for free. All right, everyone. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please show me some love by hitting that like button, and consider subscribing. I've got a lot more videos to come on the panel, now that I've got the square body finished and about to get it back to my brother-in-law, there'll be more time to focus on the old truck here, so stay tuned.